3, 2, 1. Boom chanka! How's it going, everyone? It's the Flying Pig here on the Pig and the Hen Show, joined by Henry Hotspur, as you can see here in the bottom right-hand corner. How you doing, Henry?
I'm good, mate. I just want to apologise to any Pig and the Hen viewers out there. There is no theme tune this evening. There are reasons behind that. We're also 20-something minutes late. It's not okay. It's not okay. The pig blames the hen. The pig blames the hen. You're still there watching. You're still there watching. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. It's that hen mug's fault. But no, anyway, can you guys hear us okay? Because thanks to bloody Poxy Google and Poxy bloody YouTube, they've only gone and got rid of bloody Google Hangouts live streaming on bloody YouTube. Do you know what I mean? Which means that it makes it so much more difficult for us to have these conversations and stuff. But I've just spent about oh, for fuck's sake, it says Henry's audio is echoing, so that's absolutely gash, isn't it? Hang on a second, I think I could possibly fix this. Let me just mute that. How's that?
So what you said is people can't even fucking hear me properly.
Wait a second.
Actually, it's good if it's echoing, because then they hear me twice or three times.
Right. Anyway, I think hopefully they can just... It should have just sorted itself out. How's Henry coming through now, guys? Let us know. Any good? Better? Yes.
Please do.
Get in there.
Please do. But this Google Hangouts, now that it's been got rid of, it makes it more difficult for us to do the Pig and the Hen Show. It comes down to deplatforming. You know, it's trying to make it more difficult for people to do things like the Pig and the Hen Show. What the fuck is that about? It's some sort of political agenda there or some shit.
Fair play to you, mate. Yeah, Henry, as you can tell, he's had a couple of the Holston pills. He's had a couple of Marlboro Lights, probably, and he's all feeling leery, isn't he? He wants to get deep into deplatforming and conspiracy theories. This ain't the Joe Rogan Experience, mate, okay? This ain't InfoWars with Alex Jones, mate. This is the Pig and the Hen Show, where we just talk football, okay? What the fuck?
Well, no, well, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't mention that. You know, it's obviously on the pig's mind mentioning that stuff. You know what I mean? I did not mention that those people or those things.
Awesome. Anyway, let's. I'm glad that it's working. It looks like from the comments section, it is actually working. So hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Hopefully you can see us okay. Hopefully you can see Dybala.
If we got comments coming
through, indeed. People are now saying that they can hear us fine. So that's very, very good.
Can you read the first comment? Just it makes me feel better about the fact that the show is actually on air.
So the first comment's from Liam Martin. Looks like a Plymouth Argyle fan who comments and says, Yo, how's it going, Liam? Your badge is quite small there, but I'm figuring it's Plymouth Argyle there. Do
you know what? I love Plymouth Argyle. Do you know why? Because you tell me another fucking Argyle out there. There ain't no other Argyle apart from Plymouth Argyle. And you know what? It's kind of like a Tottenham Hotspur thing. There's no other Hotspur. There's no other Argyle. Tottenham Hotspur, Plymouth Argyle, we got something going on. Do you know what I mean? Originality. Fair play to you.
Can you possibly tell me in the comment section, like, what is an Argyle? I'd love to know what the fucking Argyle is, mate. Or what a Hotspur is. Do you know what I mean? Just random words.
Well, a spur is kind of like the back of like a cowboy shoe, isn't it? You've got that kind of like a spinny blade, starry kind of thing, you know, whatever it is, you know?
That makes sense, actually. That's probably why they are called Hotspurs, because it's like they are a cowboy team. They're a cowboy club. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know about that. You know, we'll get into the signings soon, mate, in the people that we're linked with. But Argyle, that must be seafaring related, I'd imagine.
Mate. It might even be named after an individual, like the Duke of Argyle or some shit, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Well, is it a place? You're saying it's a place?
I'm saying it's a full-on place. I know Plymouth's a place, but I'm just saying maybe it's like a Brighton and Hove Albion type thing here. Let me know. That's right, Liam Martin. We want to know.
What is Albion a place?
Albion is the old English name for England. Did you know that? Like the Middle English name, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe like 2,000 years ago, Albion was like Britain. So there you go, Henry. You know, you don't just have a good time listening to the Pig and the Hen Show. Sometimes you learn something too. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I encourage anybody listening to this show right now. Please, your own research. Don't go by what the fucking pig says.
Very sound advice there, man. But how's your week been anyway, Hen? All good, mate? You've been following the football headlines, the transfer gossip, and all that shite?
Well, I certainly have been. Like, I did. I actually felt bad about myself earlier today because I went to play pool with some friends, and they informed me about certain occurrences over the last 24 hours in regards to Tottenham Hotspur's transfer dealings or transfer rumours, however you like to look at it, and I was gobsmacked. People probably know exactly what I'm talking about if you're listening to the show right now, but we have basically, not even basically, it's been reported on the biggest sports broadcaster from the West or from our country, that we have had a fee agreed with Dybala, the player that you have been linked with, that you've been talking about, Mr. Pig, for some time, but there's every chance he's actually going to come to Tottenham Hotspur. What have you got to say about that?
Well, it just goes to show you what sort of a club United has turned into when we're losing out on players to poxy Spurs. And not only that, let's talk about Christian Eriksen, and apparently we have withdrawn our interest in Eriksen now since yesterday. Because it's clear that he wants to go to Real Madrid. So we are not only getting mugged off for signings from Spurs, we are also incapable of signing Tottenham Hotspur's freaking rejects. Is that what you're telling me? It's got to that stage where Tottenham Hotspur, we can't sign a Tottenham freaking, a cast off. It's ridiculous, mate. Anyway, obviously he's not a cast off. He's a good player.
Because you don't have Champions League football.
That's what I mean. That's what it's got to.
We got to the Champions League final. We have Champions League football. We've signed Dybala. We're going forward, mate. Manchester United right now, you're in a recovery position. This is what makes me laugh about about United in general. Right, this might sound harsh to United fans out there, but the fact is, you're in dreamland. You're still thinking, yeah, we're Manchester United. We can sign any player we want. We're the fucking greatest team ever known to man. Bullshit you are, mate. Bullshit. Because it's just not happening, mate. It's not happening. It hasn't been happening for several seasons. The transfers, you're coming your pants about Maguire, mate. Yeah, literally. You yourself, Pig, have been coming your pants about Maguire. That says it all, mate. It says it all.
Are you done?
Please,
are you done?
Please.
Are you done? Because listen to me, pal. Fair enough, Spurs have Champions League football. That is the only thing that Spurs are better than Manchester United at the moment. Oh, when you got to a Champions League final, which you didn't win. Still never lifted that trophy. You've got top four. Enjoy it, pal. But
we're talking last year, mate.
Manchester United has had a fall from grace, man. I'll admit that, okay? But I'm still saying it's a sad day when Spurs are signing out players from underneath United's feet, when it used to be the other way around. And it's a sad day when Christian Eriksen is definitely more likely to choose Real Madrid just because they can offer him more in terms of competitions and glory. Compared to United, it is a sad day. That's all I'm saying, man. Christian Eriksen is a player that I would have loved to have seen at United. I wanted us to sign him before Spurs signed him. And that was a great signing for a ridiculously low price. I would take him now, proven in the Premier League. He is effective. He's going to get you assists. He's going to get you goals and things from set pieces. He's a very, very talented player. And it's just a massive shame that United are not in a position where we can even lure a player like Christian Eriksen. 5 years ago, he'd have been signed up already. That's where United have gone. We are the 5th or 6th best team in the country right now, as sad as it is to say. And we don't have the premier competition in Europe to offer these players. So what do we offer them? The only thing we can offer them more than Real Madrid is money. And we don't want to do that at the moment. It's not a good idea. So, yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely gutted about this transfer window, mate. We signed Maguire, we signed Wan-Bissaka, we signed Daniel James. That is not good enough. Ed Woodward and the board, they need to bring some more players in before the transfer window slams shut. And Christian Eriksen would have been a good one. Turns out he'd rather go to Madrid because they are a bigger, better club than United at the moment due to the poor, shoddy leadership of everybody upstairs that's happened at Manchester United over the last few years, which has put us in this position as being second frickin' rate, man. And I don't say that lightly, because obviously United is a great club. It's dear to my heart. But the way it's being run, the position we're in, we're not a top club challenging for the league at the moment, and in the same way, we're not challenging for the top transfers either, mate. Go on, go on.
You've got head in hands. I'm saying
I know.
nothing. All I'm doing is standing here drinking a beer, listening to you, and kind of feeling sorry for you. Actually, like you're a good friend, etc., etc. And I actually pity you.
No.
I'm pitying you right
Don't
now.
fucking pity me. I take it back, mate. We're still a bigger, better club than Spurs. Fact. I don't care if you've got.
The thing is, Eriksen would never go to United unless he was, unless there was a monetary incentive. In terms of actually playing football, would you not rather play for a team that's actually got Champions League football this season, a team that you're already familiar with, etc., etc.? The Real Madrid thing, fine. If you want to go and do something different, I understand that. I respect that. But there's no reason that any player in Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane, Son, Eriksen, Dele Alli even, there's no reason any of them would leave unless they had a fatter paycheck. And do you know what? Probably behind the scenes, I honestly think surely these Tottenham Hotspur players are going to be getting paid more. These contracts are probably being revised without anybody knowing about it. I can't imagine that it's going to be the same circumstance where we've got players that are getting paid, a third of what some of your players are, because it just wouldn't make sense. So there's a lot going on at Tottenham. There is intent.
Yes, well, just so you know, I've just gone on Sky Sports just to see if we've missed anything breaking. And I love what you were saying there, Henry, and it's absolutely true. Like Spurs, they clearly in the position now where they are going to spend a bit more and they are going to try and challenge the big boys a bit more and just cement themselves as that top 3 team, if you like. And you can see that by that Ndombele signing and the fact that they have managed to keep hold of players like Kane. Kane's one of the best strikers in the world. Surely he is handsomely paid if he's at Spurs. I know he's a Spurs fan or whatever, but even so, loads of people will want to pay him an extortionate amount of money to play for them. So the Spurs must be paying him very, very well indeed. But just breaking news on Sky Sports here, Philippe Coutinho rejects Tottenham loan move from Barcelona. So he has rejected the personal terms. That's what it says. Spurs working to find an agreement on Paulo Dybala's personal terms as well. So there you go. I mean, there was talk about Philippe Coutinho as well. Spurs were the most likely to sign him on the season-long loan, which imagine if they had Coutinho and Dybala coming in this transfer window and Ndombele, that would have been absolutely insane. But with Eriksen looking likely to go to Real Madrid or possibly United, but I mean, I don't know about that. I think that Spurs, they're showing their intent.
Well, that's done. That's done and dusted now, isn't it? Yeah, there's no way Eriksen's going to United. It's been said that United have withdrawn their interest. Right. That is done and dusted now.
But we could reignite that interest if we get freaking desperate on the last day of the window, couldn't we? Do you know what I mean? And fork out 380k a week for Christian Eriksen to come in and be the new Danish Alexis Sanchez.
Well, last day of the window is tomorrow. This is a very exciting Pig in the Hen show. I hope for anybody watching right now, because this is our reaction to the literal last 48 hours of this transfer window. A very exciting time of the year for all of us football fans. And Tottenham have done the business. Okay, so do you know what? Just the fact that we were linked with Coutinho, the fact that could have happened, brilliant. Do you know what? I'm happy that it hasn't happened. I don't like big players on loan. Big players on loan for me doesn't work. Big players on freeze, like Alexis Sanchez, for example, where you're paying big fucking money in terms of wages, doesn't really work for me. You need to have a team where everybody's on the same page. You've signed a contract. You're getting paid good wages. You're part of a team. There's no kind of, you're on loan. I'm actually a player here. You don't want any of that differentials in a team. And that is what Poch has got right. Do you know what? I'm kind of happy Coutinho hasn't come, mate. We don't need him, mate. If we got Dybala coming in, if we keep Eriksen, we've got Ndombele, we've got a fantastic squad, mate. You know what? I'm
I doubt
happy,
you will be
mate.
keeping Eriksen though. Like, you know, surely this is the time now that's why you've gone in for Dybala, because you need sort of like to bring another bod in because Eriksen's looking like he'll leave. That's what I think anyway. Obviously, he could well remain a Spurs player, and maybe he should. But I mean, Coutinho is a talent, is a quality player. But I know what you're saying. On loan move, you don't want anybody to just come in and upset the balance going on there.
Not a big player like that. Like a loan move is, you're talking about young players that are kind of just finding their feet. They've been loaned out by their parent club for a reason, and the accepting club is like, yeah, it's going to work for us as well. When you're talking about big players like Coutinho, for me, it just doesn't really work, mate. It doesn't work.
I just want to read a comment out from Vince Chapman that I read. By the way, there's loads of comments coming through. Thanks everybody for getting involved with this vid. Do us a favour, smash a like on this. I will go back and read a whole bunch of comments once we've just got this sort of introduction segment out of the way. But there was just one in particular. He says, quotes, Tottenham have done the business, end quotes, Henry after one signing in 10 years. I love it. It's very true. Spurs fans, they think they've got the second coming now, don't they?
It's so
Just
true.
Because they've signed Ndombele.
So true. Do you know what? Do you know what that one signing was though before Ndombele in the last 18 months or whatever it is? Do you know who it was? You know who it is.
I don't know. Who was it?
No,
Oh,
Lucas
okay.
Moura.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Was our proper signing within the last, year and a half or whatever before this transfer window, okay? And look what he did in the Champions League semi-final. He got us to the final. Okay, I'm still talking about a final that we didn't win, but it meant something, and you can see that it means something in this transfer window right now, that we are linked with top players. Just making a final makes you into a team, it puts you on that stage that you may have not necessarily been on beforehand. 100%. I've never seen a transfer window like this for Tottenham Hotspur, ever. We've broken the bank. We were linked with people like Coutinho. We're being linked with Ryan Sessegnon continuously, like a young fullback that I think it could potentially be one of the best fullbacks in the world if he actually lives up to what people say about him. It's good times, mate. It's great times. It's just crazy for me as a Tottenham Hotspur fan to stand here and look at all the media speculation about what we're doing, what we have done. We have done business, and there's business that maybe we haven't done, but we've been linked to it, and it's serious shit, mate. It is serious shit.
Well, it is serious shit, mate. Anytime we're talking about Tottenham Hotspur, it is serious shit, pal. I completely understand what you're saying there. But yeah, I mean, Spurs, they've got Ndombele. They're looking like they're probably going to get one more player, whether it's Dybala. That would be a very good signing. But you know what?
Whether it's Dybala's 90% in the bag, mate. Sky Sports transfer fee agreed, mate. What the fuck are you talking about,
mean
mate?
Anything, does it?
It all comes down to players. Bottom line, if Dybala is sitting there saying, you need to pay me this much, and Spurs say that's too
what
much,
with United and Dybala.
Then it won't happen. It won't happen. But Dybala's got to sit there and think, well, end of the day, Juventus are happy for me to go. And if we're going to pay the wages, and we will pay the wages, if we're going to fucking dish out 60, 70 million fucking pounds plus for his ass, right? Surely he should be happy with his hundreds of thousands.
You would
a week.
think so.
You
would think so.
Surely.
But apparently that's the stumbling block, the reason why United didn't sign him, because he was just simply asking for way too much money. And then what did? We withdrew our interest in Dybala because he was just asking too much. His agent was asking too much.
But did United ever have a fee agreed?
We had a fee agreed,
yes. Fee agreed? Were you
in
the same
We
position?
had a swap deal agreed, didn't we, with Lukaku in principle. In principle, the deal was agreed. But what you have to remember is obviously then both clubs have to agree personal terms, and Dybala wanted way too much, and then he sort of came back with his tail between his legs, supposedly, if we're to believe what we read in the media, and his agents, they tried to go back and renegotiate with United for a smaller amount, which is basically why I guess now he's going into Spurs, because Spurs maybe have got some sort of wind of that. Otherwise, why would they waste their time with all of this business? They're going to pay the money. They are looking likely that they're going to show that statement of intent by investing in the squad now, not in just terms of transfer fees, but in terms of wages, which is something that historically the last 10 years they've not really done to compete with the top level. And I've always rated Spurs for that. I like the fact that they've not just gone out there and spunked a big wedge, you know, with a fancy free attitude. They've built something there. They've got a new stadium. Levy's done a great job, to be fair. Say what you want about the Pratt. I'd love somebody like that compared to, you know, who we've got in charge, just like the chief exec at United, because he does seem to be progressing Tottenham Hotspurs, whereas United, we're just nosediving, mate, because we don't have the capabilities to bring these players in, because we have a potato running things. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean,
you just signed a potato, didn't you? I was listening to your video the other day, ecstatic about Maguire coming in, and you referred to him as a potato head.
I didn't refer to him as a potato head.
You seem to have a lot of... You did. You certainly did.
Mate.
You certainly
I'm talking
did.
about Ed Woodward
any average fan out there could.
Nah.
Yeah, but Maguire. No. You referred to Maguire as a potato head.
If I did, it was a
honestly,
slip of the tongue.
I challenge any avid pig fan out there. Please, you know, honestly, listen to the last video you made. You did. All I'm saying is there's a lot of potato related to Manchester United right now. And you want it to be sweet potato. Hopefully, Maguire's going to be that sweet potato for you. You know what I'm saying?
He's certainly got a knobbly enough cranium to look like a sweet potato, doesn't he? And he's got a nice thick skin on the outside. So hopefully he could be that potato leader for us at the back, mate. King of the potato people.
80 million, though. 80 million, mate. Are you not kind of... do you not feel like you've bought a cake and you've eaten it, and now you're looking back and thinking it's giving me the shits, right, and it wasn't even that nice.
That are commenting saying apparently I did call him a potato, but I didn't mean to. What I meant to say is Ed Woodward's a fucking potato head.
Wow.
And Maguire's a slab head. Okay, very clear differentiation: potato head, slab head. That's what I meant anyway. Sorry that my words were misconstrued there.
But the potato, what worries me is the potato is working its way into Manchester United in general. And
mate, it's like the Irish potato famine at Manchester United right now. Do you know what I mean?
It's not okay.
Sorry, you cut out for a sec there, mate. But it's like the Irish potato famine at Manchester United at the moment. We don't have enough good quality potatoes around, mate. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? We're not Spud FC.
Figures. You've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as your manager. You're not a top 4 team. You've still got the money. You've still got the backers, and you hate the Glazers, and you hate the hierarchy at Manchester United. But you know what? At least you've still got the financial backing, because bottom line, you just haven't really been in and amongst the in and amongst it at all for seasons now, and you should still be happy that you're considered for fucking players, and you're considered as a big team still, because the mighty fall, mate, historically, and you haven't fallen on your face yet. So you should be counting chickens right now. You should be counting chickens. You got one chicken right here. It's the hen. Just giving you a bit of sound advice.
He's a big cock, that's for sure. But no, I can't fault what you're saying, mate. Like, United are not what we used to be, but like I sort of disagree with the whole. At least we are spending money, because United, we were a huge commercial enterprise, and fair play, Woodward's done his part on that front, making all these commercial deals and whoring us out all over the world. But we don't actually. If you look at what the Glazers have done whilst they've been owners of United, they've barely serviced. They've serviced the debt, but they've barely made a dent in the debt money that we've bought the club with. So United's still in a shitload of debt. That's just wrong, mate. The amount of time that they've owned the club, we should have paid a significant amount of that back now, and we should be in a better position where instead of paying God knows how much a year on interest just to service these fees, we can actually reinvest that back into the club properly. But instead, what we're doing is we're selling ourselves as a brand globally to different companies, different enterprises, whoever it may be, Chevrolet or bloody Nissan Noodles and all sorts of stuff. And we are not, we're not actually putting all of the money back in. That's what pisses me off about a United fan, because the board don't invest enough in United. Look at this window, mate. Okay, we spent 80 million on Maguire. Lukaku's going, mate, for 70 million or whatever it is. We'll recoup most of that back. Wouldn't be surprised if Paul Pogba went before tomorrow, because we're cashing in. and then United have to go out there and sort of panic buy somebody on the last day of the window. Maybe not a panic buy, because somebody like Bruno Fernandes would be great. But this isn't the right way to run a football club, man. We should have spent this money at the start of the window, got the players in. Ole Gunnar has got time to work with them. They've got time to gel with each other, meet their teammates, work on tactics, work on shape, organisation. All that sort of stuff is hugely important. Now you've got Slabhead Maguire. He's coming to have to slot in the Chelsea game. Cold, mate. He's raw. He's freaking raw. And he's going to have to slot in there and perform. There's a lot of pressure on an £18 million signing against Chelsea. First game of the season, slot in there, raw. And he's going to have, a couple of training sessions to do that? Totally piss-poor management from the club in terms of bringing players in. Not the way to do it. Why are we having to...
It amazes me that you're talking about Pogba. You're saying Pogba might go tomorrow. Is Pogba be linked with leaving tomorrow?
He's always being linked. But, I would be surprised if it happened. But he has spoken during this transfer window about maybe wanting a new challenge. You've had other people like Zinedine Zidane making glowing comments in the past, and he's always constantly being linked to two.
Sure, there has been a link with Real Madrid. You're right, yeah.
Juventus and Real Madrid, because obviously he came from Juventus. He was great at Juventus. They'd love him back. They probably couldn't afford him, but maybe. And then in
thing is, you're happy for him to go. He's like your best player. That's what's. The laughing stock about Manchester United right now is your best player is someone that you don't even want. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck's that about?
Probably, I said this in my last video. Like, he is. If you look at now, Herrera's gone and what the midfielders bring to the club. Pogba is our best midfielder now, which is shocking, really, because he doesn't perform half of the time. But in terms of what he gives us in the middle of the park, a bit of mobility, and he is a good playmaker and that sort of thing, then he's definitely our best midfielder. So I agree with you. And it's not that I want Paul Pogba to go. I'm telling you now, if we don't sign Bruno Fernandes, I do not want Paul Pogba to go. Absolutely. Even if we do sign Bruno Fernandes, I think we'd be better placed keeping Paul Pogba. I really do. Because from what I've seen from Matic, I'm really not impressed recently. From what I've seen of Fred, he's pretty much an average squad player. What I would do is play a 4-2-3-1. I'd play Pogba and McTominay as the two in behind, like Bruno Fernandes. That is what I'd do. And I think that would make us a lot better overnight. But obviously Pogba doesn't necessarily like that role. That's the problem. And that is probably why sometimes he goes missing in games, because maybe he just can't be freaking arsed doing this job for the team. But yeah, come on, mate. You have to admit, United, we've spent more money than Spurs. We've bought more players than Spurs, but considering how short we were at the end of last season, squad-wise, lacking in very, very many positions, you have to say that there's not been a good window from United yet. The window could finish, and it could be a good window, but we're going to have to assign at least another top player before it does. Otherwise, it would be a shitter of a window. No, you don't think?
Who is okay? Or is it a player?
What?
Straight question.
Go on.
Who is the most important club? Is it your manager, or is it your best player?
It's obviously the manager, mate.
Right. This isn't a slight of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I like the guy. He's a United legend, right? But it still fills me with worry, mate. It fills me with worry the fact that end of the day, you're not in Champions League football. Yes, he didn't have a full season. You've got to give him time. But United have done this year after year. David Moyes, Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. And now you've got Solskjaer. It's worrying, mate. The managerial ins and outs, I think, almost outweigh the concerns of the players in general. And you're clinging on to the hope that actually Solskjaer could fucking do it. He has got the kahunas and the panache to pull it out of the bag and deliver for Manchester United this season. But for me, as a fan, if I was a fan of Manchester United, I'd be filled with concern because I look at Poch. I think, yeah, he's okay. He's not winning trophies, but he is progressing this. He's progressing the side. We're keeping the stability of the club. The best players are staying. We're signing players. Everything is moving forward. You are now a supporter of a side that historically brilliant, but right now it is worrying times. It is worrying times.
Yeah, you love it, don't you, mate? I mean, I would be. You do
I
love
don't
it.
love it.
You
I'm
do
being
love
honest,
it, mate.
mate. I'm
I would
not.
understand it. Most neutrals are going to love it. We've got an inexperienced manager at the helm. It's like I'm loving the fact that Frank Lampard's at Chelsea because I just think there's a more often than not chance that he's going to melt and he's not going to be able to make a success of it. He may well do. I hope he does. In a way, not that much of a success. But with Ole Gunnar, it's the same. He doesn't have the experience. This is his first real season in charge. He had a good start when he came here, but really he's an unproven manager. What has he done? He's won a mouldy league with mouldy. Do you know what I mean? Who cares about winning the Norwegian league? No offence to, Bjarte Svensson or any Norwegians we've got tuning in. Bjarte, Tomlinson, there's a bunch of legends, but the fact of the matter is it's not a league that really means anything. Now, he went and managed Cardiff in the Championship, got sacked. Okay, that's not... And then he's got the manager's job at United. That is not a great managerial CV. Frank Lampard got Derby. I think they finished 6th in the Championship the season before. Lampard came in, finished 6th in the Championship, didn't get them promoted. Not great, not fantastic after having like a whole bunch of Chelsea's academy loanees and all that sort of stuff. Not the best to not improve them, but obviously good enough to show Chelsea that maybe we should give it to a legend of the club like Lampard because it's a transitional period. It's a difficult period. That's sort of why we brought Ole Gunnar in the first place because it's a great PR move. The fans love him. They're going to get behind him. Even if he makes a complete pig's ear and a tits up of it, it's not like they're going to be burning effigies like Jose or Louis because...
There is a big difference, though. There's a big difference that you're missing here. You're missing a very important point here. The fact that Chelsea have actually won the Premier League in the last handful of seasons. Chelsea have Champions League football this season coming. So,
also
Lampard,
got a transfer ban,
it might not work out. Chelsea would be more than happy to replace him, as they do with any manager. Even if they win the fucking Champions League, they still fucking replace the manager.
It's true. Yeah.
Just ask, what's his name? I can't even remember what his name is. Because, there we go. Di Matteo, he fucking won the Champions League.
That is
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it says it all, mate. Chelsea are happy to change manager just as much as they're happy to change a player. And I'm not saying that's the right way to go about things.
No,
but
I mean, what...
I think I genuinely feel like Manchester United have got transfers wrong, and they've also got managers wrong. And it's a downward spiral for you guys. It is. I mean, I was backing you. When you got Jose in, when you got Mourinho in, I thought, no, things are going to change. You're going to be back up there. You're going to be back involved. You know what? I am a big believer of Mourinho. I think he's a fantastic manager. And if he couldn't sort it, I'd love to see Ole Gunnar do it. I'd love to see him do it because Mourinho couldn't quite do it. So how's Ole Gunnar going to do it? That's all I'm saying, mate.
Fair enough, but
Ole Gunnar piss you off, mate.
The difference between Ole Gunnar and Jose, I think, Jose was way too set in his ways, proper negative, proper defensive style, which doesn't suit the philosophy and the tradition of United. Whereas Ole Gunnar knows United, he's going to try at least to replicate the style of football that he played in under Sir Alex Ferguson at United. That's what he's tried to do. You can see that in pre-season. We're pressing much higher up. We're attacking a lot more. So he is trying to do that, and that's the right thing to do because United has a very special footballing tradition, and we should try and keep that going for it forever. Whether it wins you the league or not, we should absolutely be trying to do that. And with Jose, even when it was going wrong, it's all well and good the first season when he came in, or even the second when we got second in the league, and we're playing defensively and it's boring and slow and tedious, but we're picking up results. But it's another thing to then lose a lot of games, not be in it, and that is what caused the ultimate demise of Jose, is his inability to change, his inability to transform the philosophy of the squad to that of a Manchester United team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on the other hand, he is going to do that from the off, and he's going to keep doing that. You just wait and see. So that is what I like about the Ole Gunnar in the hot seat, because I think he's going to give you the United fans exactly what we want, which is direct attacking football and try and batter some teams. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to see us first game of the season against Chelsea setting up like Jose Mourinho would in that exact fixture, which is very, very negatively.
Okay. I've got a great question for you. It's a simple question. Who's going to be starting at left back for Manchester United first game of the season?
100% be Luke Shaw. 100%.
And do you think that Luke Shaw is cut out for a title challenge?
United don't need to challenge for the title this season, buddy. We just need to get into the top 4.
Yes, no, you do. Yes, you do.
How are we going to do that? With 31 points off of City.
But there we go. You've already got the wrong mentality, mate. You have got the wrong mentality. You are now that mentality of, we just hope for a top 4 finish.
Right, mate.
That's wrong. This is what it's a Bruce Lee thing. If you're going to punch something, you punch through it. You don't punch the target or the surface of it. You punch through it. And you've just proved my point there. You've just told me that, we're not going to be, fucking hell, what a lack of confidence. Tottenham Hotspur, at the moment, we look at every trophy, every season right now, we're in it to win it. You have to be like that. And the fact that even the pig is saying, no, we're not in it. Already.
Wow.
Already, before the transfer window shuts. That is depressing, mate. That is depressing.
But even if we do get the players in the transfer window, it's still massively unlikely that we're going to be able to make everything gel and everything work. City have got Pep, they've got the players, they've got the squad, they've got the well-oiled machine. So did Liverpool to a certain extent, much better along in terms of progression than United. So you expect us to just overnight, with one transfer window, close a 32-point gap in the Premier League? It's unrealistic, mate. I'm a realist, pal. I'd love to say, United are going to finish first this season. It's not going to happen, mate. I'll say it now. And you can all come back here if we do win the league and mock me, but I'll be freaking over the moon about that anyway. But the fact is, I just don't think United can get anywhere near first in the Premier League this season. Even if we signed Ronaldo, even if we signed Fernandes, I don't see that happening, because Ollie's got his work cut out for him.
But the trouble is, when Mourinho was in charge last season, maybe the season before, people were talking about United challenging for the title. Why are we not talking about that anymore? What's changed?
Sixth, mate.
Well, just because Pep's got his fucking balls, literally, layered on top of the fucking trophy, or Klopp is got his dick inside the fucking cup of the league, Champions League. They're fucking hard.
Sorry,
about
Henry.
it.
Sorry, Henry. I'm going to have to stop you.
Does that make the difference, does it?
Okay, mate. Now, I accept football goes in cycles. You're obviously in a very, very good place at the moment. Spurs are progressing. They're doing better, right? But just the fact that you've got the sheer audacity to even talk about a great club like United, who, have bigger shits than Spurs for breakfast, mate, basically. What have Spurs ever won the Premier? They haven't even won the Premier League, mate. Hold on a second. The Premier League's been going since I was fucking 3, okay? And Spurs have never won the Premier League. They've never won the Champions League. Okay, you got to the final. You won we are in the Champions League final trophy. You won the International Champions Cup trophy last year. You won the Audi Cup this summer. I mean, come on, mate. You're giving it the big and you're giving it the large one. But the fact of the matter is, Spurs haven't won. Firstly, I'd like to correct you.
I know you, Pig, as a friend, you were born in 87, So, all right. The Premier League started in 92, 93. You were older than 3 years old then.
Okay. Is that all you've got to say?
Full of shit, mate. Full of shit.
I was proper ripping in. That's all you could do is pick me up on the age I was when the Premier League started. What a tit.
Well, I mean, you begin a statement, you know what I mean? If the first part's non-factual, I'll call it bullshit, mate.
It's true though, man. Like what I'm saying is not wrong. Like, fair play. I respect that you're so confident and jovial being a Spurs fan, and I would be too if I was a Spurs fan, because you've just always been that underachieving team, like 5th or 6th in the league, like decent team, spend a bit of money, have some good players. David Ginola here, Berbatov there. They always get sold to a bigger club in the end, but. Now you're actually at a place where you can compete, you can keep older players, you have got a great core there, and it's great, mate. But what are you... Pochettino hasn't won anything, Spurs haven't won anything, so you're giving it, the big one. But the fact is, until you do, honestly, win something, I suggest you just reserve a little bit more respect for Ole Gunnar, a little bit more respect for Manchester United and what this club has done over the last 30 years, over your entire lifetime. Just answer this, Henry. You've been alive for, 31 years? Who is the most dominant team in England during your lifetime? Just answer that question.
Manchester United.
You see?
That's the only reason that we have the Pick of the Head show. Do you know what I mean? Just imagine if this show was about fucking Watford or some shit. You'd have fuck all subscribers. Fuck all subscribers.
I don't know. There's some pretty big subscribers, from channels from random teams.
Apologies to any Watford fans out there. You know what I mean? Good club, you know. On the rise, unlike Manchester United.
Listen, it's all banter, mate. Spurs.
Do you know what? Listen to this. Listen, you've been speaking. Give me a chance to talk, right? Who are the best teams right now, currently in the Premier League?
City and Liverpool.
Manchester
you
City.
Definitely cannot. No, you can't put Spurs
Liverpool.
in there, mate. They didn't finish in the top two.
Well, I mean, okay. After them two, Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. Look
After
at their
them
managers.
two, what is the point
Pep
of that?
Guardiola.
Who cares about finishing
Listen.
mate? Who actually cares? To me, third, sixth, it doesn't really matter.
Listen to me. Managers are important. Listen to me. Managers are important. Pep Guardiola, fucking winner. Jurgen Klopp, fucking winner. Mauricio Pochettino, okay, not a winner, but fucking right in there. Fourth place.
Pochettino, not a winner, but right in there.
Sorry, we finished fourth. We finished fourth for the Premier League last season. Chelsea, the thing is with Chelsea, they've just got this revolving door of managers. And they manage just to kind of sometimes hit the trophies, sometimes not, and it just kind of happens for them. But now they've gone for Lampard. It could be great, it couldn't be, but they can afford to do that because within the last fucking decade, Chelsea have been involved, so they can afford to fuck around. Manchester United, you have fallen from grace. Arsenal, kind of the same. Wenger is like the poor man's Sir Alex Ferguson. So you lose Sir Alex Ferguson, you lose Wenger. Suddenly, Manchester United, Arsenal, no one's talking about those teams. No one's fucking talking about them. That is. I mean, it puts a smile on my face, but at the same time, it's kind of sad, is it?
It's definitely sad, mate. Yeah, it is. But who won a major European trophy? Latest. 2 years ago, United won a major European trophy. No,
well,
but
Liverpool.
Who out of Spurs and United, who's the last to lift the major European trophy? United did it 2 seasons ago, pal. The Europa League.
We never. But I'm not talking about history. I'm talking about current events, mate.
History, mate. If we're talking about the last season, why can't we talk about the last 2 seasons? Do you know what I mean? Talking COD, mate.
Oh, you're talking about Europa League? That's a Mickey Mouse.
It's still a very tough competition to win, mate. It really is. So.
Oh yeah, it's a good competition to win, but I mean, nobody bats an eyelid over that.
Oh, Vince! Wait a second.
I mean,
Vince,
that's just that was a win. That was a win for Mourinho, not a win for Manchester United. That's so Mourinho could say, "Well, yeah, I fucking won a couple of trophies for Manchester United. I'm still a fucking trophy winner." It's exactly what I would be saying if I was was the manager of Manchester United. But in terms of Manchester United as Manchester United, no, doesn't mean shit.
Are you finished? I just wanted to read this comment from Vince Chapman. And by the way, guys,
Sorry,
we are going to go through all the comments from the start as well and pick out a whole bunch at the end of this. But obviously, we're just having a bit of back and forth at the moment. But I just wanted to read a comment out, which I've seen here from Vince Chapman. And he comments, that should be a T-shirt. Quotes, Mauricio Pochettino, not a winner, but right in there. That's actually what came out of your mouth, Henry. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, winner. Pep Guardiola at City, winner. Pochettino at Spurs, not a winner, but right in there.
The fact is, Jurgen Klopp was not really. He won with Dortmund, didn't he, in Germany? But he wasn't really a winner. He was always labelled as the ultimate loser. and he fucking won the Champions League last season. So you can't just look at managers like that, mate. What you need is a fucking solid manager. You don't need an ex-player, mate. You don't need an ex-player. It worries me, mate. Lampard at Chelsea, Solskjaer at Manchester United. Let's see how you guys do this season, because I'd rather have fucking Guardiola, Poch, Jurgen Klopp all day long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say this because some United fans will probably hate me, but who would turn down Pep Guardiola as their manager? If we could go back and he could have joined United instead of joining City, I think most United fans, even though we don't like him because he's City's boss and all that stuff, you have to respect what he's done at City. You have to respect the football, the brand of football that they play. And I would love United to be playing that sort of football and being that dominant again. That would just be amazing. But the fact is, we're not.
Fans are fickle, mate. Just imagine if it came out tomorrow, in all the mainstream sports media, and they told everyone that Guardiola has decided to leave Manchester City. He's actually come to Manchester United. He's agreed with the Glazers, etc., etc. That's what's going to happen. Solskjaer's going to take an assistant manager role, and the statement is, do you know what? I love history more than anything. Manchester United should be the top club in Manchester, and I'm going to make it happen. If that happened, if that fucking happened, would any fucking sad cunt out there say, no, I don't like that. I don't want that to happen.
There would be some.
Everybody would be wanking into their hand and then smearing it all over their face, mate.
Dude, you can't have like ex-City manager as the Manchester United manager. You just can't, mate. There's not many examples as players, let alone coaches. So I don't think we can have Pep Guardiola now.
So if that happened, if he come out of that statement, he said, do you know what? I've just, it's been bugging me for a while. It just doesn't feel right being at City.
Coming into
United
their hand and rubbing it over their faces.
They're the team I'm supposed to be at. Do you know what I mean? Everybody would love it, mate. You telling me that would not be accepted? That would be accepted like Jesus. You know what I mean? It would be, mate. Yeah, take Jesus Gabriel as well, yeah. But you know what I mean? That would be accepted,
I don't know.
mate.
You might be right. Let's put it out there. If you had the opportunity to just switch roles right now, or not switch roles because Ole Gunnar's not going to manage City, but Pep Guardiola at United now instead of Ole, would you do that? My personal answer.
Yeah, Ole Gunnar is an assistant. Ole Gunnar is an assistant, mate. You'd love it, mate. You would be loving it, mate. We'd be doing Pick of the Hen 24/7 just about that. That's how much you'd love it.
I hear you, mate. But anyway, yeah, fair play, mate. You've made an interesting point there. United, we've got a rookie manager, okay? But how does a rookie manager turn into an experienced, successful manager? I'll tell you, by getting experience and getting success. And it happens, man. There was a time when Jose Mourinho was just some spotty little tit, who was basically the assistant of Bobby Robson, and then he turned himself into a football coach. And guess what? He's been very successful at that, but he wasn't successful overnight. Yeah,
yeah, exactly, mate. He was amazing, and then he come to Manchester United, and it didn't work.
It worked for a little while. No, it worked for a little while. What I'm trying to say is, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be anywhere near, have big enough feet to fill the shoes of Sir Alex or be a top manager, he's going to have to get a job managing a top side, and he's got that now. Now what can he do? Now can he apply what he's learned throughout his professional career and his short managerial career, fair enough, and apply that to Manchester United and turn them into a quality team? It could happen, mate. There's been numerous occasions where managers have come in, and they've not been the most... Look at Roberto Di Matteo's run with Chelsea to the Champions League glory. That is one example. Okay, he got sacked shortly after that, but still you have to say that was a period of success from a very inexperienced manager, whether it's a caretaker thing and the players just basically manage themselves, whatever, you could argue that. But there's lots of cases where managers have gone into clubs with little experience and made a success of it. So Ole Gunnar could do that, man. He could be a next great manager for United. It's just we have to believe in him. I believe in him, mate. I do.
Do you know
who
is
this United side set up and playing? It's much better than last year anyway.
You know who his rivals are? I mean, the last couple of seasons, we've kind of had our top six. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. I think it's the way it's panned out, people are understanding what's happening now. You've got your big teams and you've got your secondary big teams. You've got a top three right now. You got a top two. You got a top two. You got Manchester City. You've got Liverpool. Tottenham is definitely a top three side. Those three teams will finish first, second, third, or maybe one of them might fuck up a little bit and finish fourth. Probably Tottenham Hotspur, if that's the case. Okay. Manchester United have got a fight with Chelsea and Arsenal to finish in the top four. That's how you should look at it. That is, as a Manchester United fan, if I was one, God forbid, that is how I'd look at things. I'd say we need to be in competition with Chelsea, with Arsenal, to make sure that we're in the top four. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
in some respect?
realistically, like I said earlier on, even though you were disgusted by the notion that we are not really in a place to challenge for the league. So yeah, our job this season is to get fourth place. As sad as it is, as wrong as it is to say that, United should always be about winning. But right now, we're just too far behind. We need to close that gap as best we can and hope that maybe next season we can challenge for the title. But yeah, I mean, I think it's too much to ask overnight. So for United, yeah, I agree, Hen, get into the top four. That is the number one priority. What?
If you had Pep Guardiola, though, it'd be a different story. As fickle and as funny as that sounds, it would be a
maybe
different story.
It wouldn't. The problem is,
it would be.
At City,
I'd expect you to be challenging if you had Guardiola.
Yeah, but hold on a sec.
Mate.
You'd have to give Pep Guardiola time and money, mate. Because look, when he came into City, yeah, he got them playing good football, but they didn't actually win anything for a while, did they? A couple of seasons until they've started winning things. And he spent a lot of money. He's had pretty much unlimited funds and been able to improve an already ridiculous squad. At United, we don't have anywhere near the squad that City have got realistically. Our midfield is beaten by their midfield to a man. Our defence, now, okay, we've probably got one of the better defences in the league, but last year we were beaten every position to a man. Strike force, people like Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, beaten to a man. So he's got a much better squad there to win the league with. I'm not saying he couldn't do it at United, but I bet my bottom dollar, if they swap places right now, if Pep Guardiola came in right now with this United squad, he wouldn't win the fucking league with them this year. No way. Even if he got them playing great football, because we don't have the top tier players or enough of them to have a really, really strong squad. We barely got a strong starting 11, let alone a strong squad to be able to challenge on all fronts and manage a campaign of 38 games to win the league. So I hear what you're saying, but he had his time at City, he had his money. If he came into United, say, he'd need time and money as well. That's all I'm saying. But I think he could do it. I must admit, he seems to be a very good coach.
Yeah, just disregard everything you said for the last minute or so and just listen to your last 10 seconds there.
Matt Lewis comments and says Zidane has only ever managed Real reserves, got the first team, and won 4 bloody Champions Leagues pretty much on the trot. So in terms of inexperience from an ex-player being given the position, Zidane sort of fucks you over there, doesn't he?
Yeah, but if you ever see Solskjaer in a fucking World Cup final or whatever it is, headbutting some cunt, you know what I mean? You know, Zidane don't give a fuck, does he? You know, he's a real man. He's a Stella Artois man. I'm not saying that's the man that I want to marry my daughter if I had a daughter. What I'm saying is he's the man that I want to be managing a football team. He don't give a fuck, mate. You know what I mean? Solskjaer's not that guy. He's more Gollum, isn't he? He's still looking for the ring, mate.
My precious. Fair play, mate, no.
Very much so, mate. Very much so. And I know you, Pig, mate. As soon as Solskjaer starts doing bad, he becomes Gollum. If he starts doing well, then he's Frodo, isn't he? He's one of the other. He's very much Lord of the Rings related.
But listen, mate. No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give Ole Gunnar the season this year. Look, if he does some dumb shit during the season, I'm gonna say that it's dumb. I'm gonna say that he's selected the wrong team. Why has he put Phil Jones in there instead of Maguire, for instance? Shit like that. I will say that, but I'm not just going to jump on Ole Gunnar, even if
it's comical, isn't it?
But even if we are 6th come Christmas times again, and it's not looking much better than last season, I'm going to give him time, mate. I love Ole Gunnar. I want him to be a success. Okay, it's more about the philosophy. It's more about the way in which we're going about it than the results for me at the moment. My personal opinion: United have to get results. We do. But I won't be jumping on him, mate. Not any time this year. I'm just going to say that to everybody right now. I'll leave that up to freaking Goldbridge and those melters just to create a bit of drama. Do you know what I mean? But for me personally, I won't be getting on Ole Gunnar like that. I mean, you know, I'll have obviously my rant videos. If I'll give the players a good old dressing down if they haven't performed. But no, Ollie needs time, man. He needs time, belief, money, investment. He needs all of these things. But more importantly, he does need time. You can't do it overnight.
I'm just curious because, as you know, I've been out of the UK for a while. I've just started the Pig and the Hen show with yourself recently. You know, United Stand, massive respect. You know, that is a channel that is very popular.
Massive respect to United Stand.
United Stand's view?
What?
What is, you know, in the respect that, you know, it's a channel out there, isn't it? It's a United channel. Okay, so fair play. But what is Goldbridge's opinion on Solskjaer?
Do you know what? I don't actually know, mate. But you know,
okay. I don't know.
Obviously, they've got a ridiculous amount of followers and subscribers, so they must be doing something right. But what I had said last year, what I would say is still relevant, and that is that they do clickbait. They do manufacture things. They do. You know, like I'm sure that last night there was a video online, Christian Eriksen to freaking Man United. Guess what? Today it's off. They do shit like that at the time. They're hype mongers, mate. They make money from clicks. It's you know, fair play to him because he sort of managed to dislodge the Full-Time Devils, who were like, you know, a sort of corporation-owned type thing. So he did a very good job.
So Full-Time Devils is no more.
No, it is. But what I'm saying is he's obviously got to the size of them. He's as big as those guys right now. So he's done a tremendous job getting subscribers, getting clicks. But he does. To be brutally honest with you, man, like, you know, he don't get my respect as a United fan because he doesn't play to the average United fan. And what I mean by that is he doesn't respect the average United fan. He'll just come up with some BS, run with it, get the clicks, and then guess what? United haven't signed this player. He's gone to Spurs. United haven't signed this player. He's gone to City or whatever. And that leaves United fans with a bit of egg on our face because there's a lot of people out there who don't have the sort of stance on it as me and will just believe everything that they see on this particular channel. And that, I think, is wrong, man.
So my question is, why are we not doing that?
Because we've got a little bit of thing. We've got something called integrity, Henry. We have something. Mate. We have something
I'm
called.
Joking.
Honestly, we have
joking.
something called real. We are real fans, mate, and we are not going to exploit other real fans for financial gain. Okay, not yet, anyway.
Sure.
Oh.
Well, you know, it's one of those. I mean, you know, it pisses me off because all I want to know is what's actually going on at Tottenham Hotspur. For me, I believe that Dybala coming to Spurs is kind of what 80%, 75, 80%. Is that?
I just want to say something. Do you know what pisses me off about YouTube and football fan channels and things like this now? Is that there's so bloody many of them pumping out the same clickbait stuff. Whether it's, you know, oh, Ronaldo to United, let's just get 100 freaking, you know, all these clicks. They're flooding it out there, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a day. This guy. When somebody like me, who doesn't get the opportunity, or somebody like Kevin Ashford, if you're familiar with him, who's got a great Manchester United channel and is a top lad, but can only do a video or two a week because he works and he's got other stuff going on in the same situation to me. Our stuff gets lost in the shite, mate, because there's so much of it. By the time I've put a video on there about Harry Maguire officially signing, there's 50 videos from other channels about Harry Maguire maybe signing, about Harry Maguire definitely signing, and then when he's actually signed. So it kind of does, you know, YouTube should have a look at it, mate. That's all I'm saying. Apparently their community guidelines are against clickbait. They're against misleading content.
I know what you're saying.
Unfortunately, for certain United channels, for certain fan channels, they are flooding the market with what I would consider clickbait shite. And it does take away, it detracts from the smaller channels who maybe do have a bit more integrity, who maybe do make good content that's just not pandering to those clicks for transfer articles and things like that. Because I can't be asked getting involved in it, mate. I was thinking, should I pop on and do a video about Christian Eriksen last night? I thought it's probably not going to happen. So why would I want to talk about that when realistically it's probably not going to happen? Do you know? So that's what I feel anyway.
I know what you're saying, but what you have to remember is they're
sellouts,
you know,
mate.
people are not stupid. People know like who's for real, who's not. I think the vast majority of the people that watch the Pig and the Hen show for sure of people that kind of know who you are. You know, like I'd like to think that they just listen because I'm involved and they don't give a fuck about you, but that's probably not the reason. It's probably avid Flying Pig United fans that actually think, no, the Pig and the Hen show is okay. I'm going to listen to that, and that is an avid following, and okay, this avid following might, clickbait, click on this other shit, but in the long run, what matters is community. What matters is like actual understanding of what we care about, what we want to talk about. And people know that. People aren't stupid.
Well, I like
people
to think
are not
that, but
stupid.
you say that, but I mean, I try my best, obviously work, and I try to put out content as much as I can. But they've got 20 times the following I've got, so I know they put out a lot more videos and they probably invest more money into it and things like that. But the fact is, like, it does make it difficult for other people when you've got the sheer amount of volume of clickbait articles coming through. And I can see some comments talking about the football terrorist definitely being clickbait. Now, what I would say about people like Goldbridge, people like Terry over at the Football Terrace, now they're probably nice people, you know what I mean? Like Terry, I know, I've spoken to him in the past, he's a nice guy. But that doesn't mean they've not sold out. That doesn't mean that they're not just making videos for clicks to make money. And that is selling out, unfortunately, lads and lasses. And on that particular channel, I don't want to, I like Terry, but at the same time, he's putting videos on there that say, done deal, weeks ago, that say, oh, confirmed signing, done, dusted, all this stuff. And the thumbnails are very misleading, they're very clickbait. And he's grown his channel significantly because of that. And fair play, if that's your only goal, is to get a bigger channel with more subscribers and make more money, then good luck to you. But at the same time, it is, like, there's loads of people on here commenting, it is clickbait, it is misleading, it is misrepresenting the fans. And I just think that's wrong, man. I don't want to make this a whole big chat about other United fan channels, like make it seem like I'm jealous of them. In some ways, I am jealous that they've got a bigger follower than me. It's only natural. But I'm not jealous in the way that they've gone about it, man. That's all I'm saying. So, there we have it.
No, but the way I look at it, Pig, is you've got two types of real interest when it comes to listening to people talking about football. I'm interested in listening to people that actually know about football. Let's say ex-players, current players, managers, etc., like people that are in the game, understand the game. We've seen them play, legends, love that. And the other part of the stuff that I like to listen to is actual just real fans, like not even in media, not even on YouTube, etc. What I'm saying is someone that is just my friend that I'm having a drink with my friend, or etc. Or we're playing a bit of fantasy Premier League, and we're just having a chat about who should you pick, why shouldn't you pick that person, etc. And those two things are important to me. But when you get to the middle of that and you're talking about people that are actually not ex-players, nothing to do with football, at the same time they're not representing just being a normal person, which hopefully, well, I'm not a normal person.
But we are not trying to be football journalists, pretending to do that, are we? We're just being fans. So
this is what I mean. So when you've got someone that's just kind of like, it's one or the other for me.
I mean, it's
be real. It's just about being real, mate. You're either a fucking ex-pro or an ex-manager or a current manager, current player, fucking involved in the game, or you're not. And that's how that is how you should be.
Why do we people shouldn't be pretending that there's something when they're not, like they're this major journalist. Everyone knows Mark E.G.'s a fan of Nottingham in the Forest. Do you know what I mean? So
oh no, I mean we're just honest. It's like a lot of United people listening to this show probably know more about United than you do, Pig. They might even be bigger fans than you, etc. Seen more games than you live. Know somebody that fucking knows more about the history of Manchester United than you do. But they understand that doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's just about the community. Talking, understanding, appreciating the fact that we all love this game. That's what matters.
You said it better than I could have ever, Henry. That's it. This is a fan channel at the end of the day. We are fans. You're a fan of Spurs, I'm a fan of United. We're not trying to be something we're not. I'm not just going to put out 10 videos a day saying done deals about different players that may or may not happen. I'm going to talk about it when it's realistically happening. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's how I feel about all these clickbait YouTube channels. You know, hashtag follow the pig.
Well, this is it. We need to get the theme tune back on the go. It's important, you know. People need the theme tune. Music's important in life, I'm telling you.
But I just want to stop there as we've reached a natural sort of stop in the podcast here to just give a shout out to everybody who is tuning in live right now. I can see there's 86 people tuned in right now, so thank you to everybody who is tuning in. Smack a cheeky little like on this video, give it a share, help this channel out. Maybe one day we'll be able to compete with, you know, clickbait, other channels and things like that, but I doubt it because we're obviously not prepared to go down that line so much. But yeah, everybody who is tuning in, thank you so much for getting involved. I can see all the nice comments coming in. People do enjoy this show, Henry, for some reason. Me and you, we're just mates. We've been friends since school. Both big, passionate football fans. And half the time, we're not even really talking about football. We're just either insulting each other or talking about some random stuff or Alex Jones or conspiracy theories or whatever it may be. So, you know, everybody who does watch these, thanks so much for getting involved. It really does, give us a reason to do them. So thank you so much for getting involved in the comments. Keep them coming. What I'm going to do now, unless you've got anything you want to cover as well, Henry, is go back and read a bunch of the comments and super chats and things that have come out during this live stream.
100%. I mean, there's certainly topics that we haven't covered that we said
go for it. Let's get them out of the way and then we'll go to the Q&A.
last show. But quickly, I'd actually fast track a comment that was received by, I can't even remember who it was, but I replied actually. I replied in the comment section saying that I will suggest this to the pig. We will speak about this. There was a comment in the last Pig and the Hen show from a fan. I hope he's a fan
Griffo
anyway.
Griffo Chaz, I believe. I could be wrong.
There we go. Griffo Chaz. And Griffo Chaz. No, you're right. Yeah. It's Griffo Chaz. Brilliant name, actually. Griffo Chaz. Don't know what that means, but it sounds good. But Griffo Chaz. Well, there we go. Griffo Chaz wanted us to talk about our best sports person or sports personality of all time and why. He might not have asked it in that way, but I think it was something along those lines anast
Go on, then you go first, Henry. Who is your all-time favorite?
Well, I've been thinking about this. Literally, last couple of days. I was thinking that we got the Pig and the Hen show coming up. I need to think about it and come up with an answer. And my answer is Muhammad Ali.
Really? Well, that's sort of taking a bit of the wind out of my sails because he's my favourite sports person of all time by a mile. So you've done there, mate. You've done
interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, but it goes to show, doesn't it? It goes to show. I mean, for me, it's not. Even though Muhammad Ali's achievements were unprecedented, it's not just about his achievements. It's about the impact, the influence, the personality, the charm, the fucking the presence, etc. And I can't think of any. You know, I like boxing. I like a lot of sports, but certainly Muhammad Ali for me. You know, films been made about the guy, etc. You know, he's a special person, and for me, that I can't think of another sporting person that competes.
It's like for me,
I'm not even stood here saying. Let me finish. I'm not even a massive Muhammad Ali fan in respect that there's going to be people out there that just know everything about Muhammad Ali. He's their absolute hero. I'm not one of those, but he still had enough of an impression on me where I'd say, yeah, he's special.
He was so special. Just the personality of the man. If you look at trash talking in boxing and MMA and things these days, it all derives from Muhammad Ali doing it back in the day. You know, Rumble in the Jungle, Thriller in Manila, all these amazing events that he was part of in the build-up to them. If you've never seen the documentary When We Were Kings, Henry, I'd definitely check that one out because you bloody love it. Which is the follow-up, the build-up to the Rumble in the Jungle. It's like like how they do the UFC embedded videos. It's basically that, but an hour and a half long video of the build-up to the event. But yeah, if you're talking about
Okay.
things, obviously he was I think he was a Black Panther, or he was in. God, what was he in? He was So he was basically had like dealings with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and people like this. He was very influential within the Afro-American community, and they actually sent him to jail because he refused to go and fight in the Vietnam War and fight the Viet Cong. And he famously quoted as saying, "No Viet Cong ever called me the N-word," you know? So he stood up for what he believed in, even if it meant being given 5 years in jail. And then after he came out of jail, he was probably never the same boxer quite ever again. But he still went on. He still won back that heavyweight championship. And just to be able to go and do that after being incarcerated for something that, for something that he believed in. If you take everything out of it, everything else out of Muhammad Ali's life, the character, the personality, the humor, the comedy, the intelligence, all that sort of stuff, the boxing achievements, take all of it out and just look at it from that. He's a heck of a character. So there you go. To me, he's the best sportsman of all time. Plus, he was a tremendous boxer,
all day long. And he's just a real person. He's a real person. People could say he said this, he said that. That wasn't that. They could say that wasn't such a nice thing to say. You show me someone that's never said something that was not okay to say. Everybody says things. Everybody thinks things. He was an advocate of free speech, and I'm fully about that these days. We now live in a society, and this gets onto a topic that I'm fully invested in these days. I think, you just can't say anything without everybody jumping on you and saying you can't say that, and people taking what you said out of context, etc., etc. We live in dangerous times. Muhammad Ali certainly was someone that was from a time. I mean, okay, just imagine if you had a Muhammad Ali now, and maybe he said some of the things that he said before. It's almost like he wouldn't be accepted now, and that's what worries me about modern society, is the fact that we look at this person as what a legend, what an amazing person. And the fact is, if you had someone just like that right now, that person might not even have a voice, mate. That's what scares me.
Yeah, you make an interesting point. I mean, I think maybe Tyson Fury is, like sort of one of those characters where he does still say controversial things and he speaks his mind. He's very open and honest. But, yeah, no way near to the extent. But times have changed. There's actually a video, and if you've not seen it, Henry, I very much recommend that you go and see it. So, Muhammad Ali... So Sonny Liston, another heavyweight champion at the time, he's in a casino just gambling, and Muhammad Ali goes in there talking trash to him. There's cameras around, he's building up, hyping up the fight. He's trying to get him to have a fight with him, all that sort of stuff. So what does Sonny Liston do? He pulls out a piece, mate. He pulls out a handgun, a freaking hand cannon, and fires it in the air above Muhammad Ali. And this is a packed casino. Right? Everyone screams, shit themselves. Muhammad Ali runs out like a 6-year-old girl, yeah? And then what does Sonny Liston do? He puts it back in. He just shows that he was firing blanks, actually. He shoots himself like that in the chest, and then he puts it back in the pocket and carries on like nothing had happened. So things have definitely changed since then, my friend. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. That says it all, mate.
I just want to say, so Muhammad Ali, absolute legend. Somebody else has here commented, said Georgie Best. I mean, to every United fan growing up, my parents used to tell me stories about Georgie Best and how fantastic he was. And obviously, you go back and watch the clips, he was absolutely something else. He was like a rock star at the time. In the 60s, he was a true rock star. They used to call him the fifth Beatle. They used to call him El Beatle, because he was basically the fifth Beatle. He was that much of a big star. So from a sports personality point of view, Georgie Best will always hold a very high regard in for me, being a United fan. But if you're talking about characters, if you're talking about contributions to not just football, not just sport, but to society, then you can't really compare him with Muhammad Ali, just because Georgie Best obviously did have his own demons, he did have issues, and so for me, it's clearly Muhammad. But there's some absolute legends out there in other sports. There totally is. Babe Ruth, if we're going into baseball back in the day, What Englishman gives a shit about baseball? None. That's who. But his records, his name, it lives on to this day. So he must have been an incredible. And obviously, if you go back and look at some of the footage, he's a big, chubby man compared to it was just a character, wasn't he? So those people. There's too many to talk about. Really, I've gotten to bloody Babe Ruth.
Well, I mean, there's someone else that I was thinking of, but I mean, can he be counted as a sports person? Not really. He is, but he's certainly well known as a movie star. And it's Bruce Lee. He's never been a sports person, but what he's done for sport in terms of in the same like category of what we're speaking about, what he's done for mixed martial arts, etc., is everything. That I don't know. What do you disagree?
No,
do you think
listen,
Bruce Lee
is? You should say that, Henry, because my two favourite icons, if you like, who are not footballers, are Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali. I just love Bruce Lee.
What's funny? I'll tell every pig in the head listener right now. This listens to this show right now live. Fair play to you guys. Me and the pig have never had this conversation, or we might have done, but I
used to want to get Muhammad Ali tattooed here.
This is certainly not pre-scripted. This is not pre-scripted. We are not shouting out these names because we decided to before doing this show. This is just natural, normal talk right now. And we're in agreement. That's amazing.
Bruce Lee's philosophies are fantastic to this day. Be water, my friend, and all that sort of stuff. And I just love it. And the way he spoke, the way he, you put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. You put water into a glass, it becomes the glass. He was freaking led. He was like Splinter. He was basically Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but a human being. He was that wise. He was way more wiser than his age. Unfortunately, was taken from us way too early. Who knows what? There's a lot of conspiracies about that. But some say it was just a bad reaction to like headache pills because he trained his body up. He'd never taken things like that. He didn't have the not immunity is not the right word, but he didn't have the capabilities to deal with that sort of medication. Apparently, I find that hard to believe, but because he was so physically fit and strong at the time. But if you're talking about contribution to cinema, he's massively up there because he basically created this whole kung fu, this whole Chinese martial art, style, and it all stems from Bruce Lee. So for me, Bruce Lee's just one of the biggest legends ever.
What says it all is I remember actually I came round yours years ago, and you had a UFC game. I think it might have been the first ever like a UFC on a current console. I don't know what it was at the time, PS3, Xbox 360, whatever it was. Okay, can't even fucking remember.
2005, yeah.
But back in the day. And do you know what? Bruce Lee was one of the playable fighters in the game, and it's just like I'm thinking, Bruce Lee's never been in UFC. You know what I mean? It says it all, doesn't it? It just shows the respect, doesn't it, from the producers of the game. Sure, they know that anyone playing the game is going to respect. It's just there is so much love for Bruce Lee.
He was an absolute trailblazer. I mean, if you watch Joe Rogan as well, they always talk about Bruce Lee on there, and they go back and they watch some of the footage and all that sort of stuff, and you can see him. See him doing moves in movies from the 1970s. Of him doing arm bars and implementing all of these different martial arts into one fighting style, basically, which was his fighting style. Jeet Kune Do was the style that he created. It's the style that he obviously took on, which basically means, I think it means like way of the intercepting fist or something, right? But basically what it translates to is, so the whole point of it is you're not stuck on one form of martial art. You're not rigid in whether it be taekwondo or whether it be judo or whether it be jiu-jitsu. No, he takes all aspects from all martial arts and you flow like water, my friend. Do you know what I mean? That was his whole mentality, that was his whole philosophy, and that is why he's held in such high regard by the mixed martial arts community, because he is considered the first true mixed martial artist, somebody who implemented all these different styles. Because before Bruce Lee, you had all these grandmasters and all these martial arts experts, and they'd come together and they'd debate whose style is the best. But no, Bruce Lee said, actually, hang on, the kicking from Taekwondo, that's fucking good. The ground game from Judo over here, that's fucking useful. And he implemented them into his own style, effectively. So he's pretty much the godfather of martial arts, whether he knew it or not. That's what's so awesome about him.
Do you think MMA would have happened without Bruce Lee's legacy? I mean, it would have happened, but would it have happened in the same way?
I think it would have happened because people just do like human cockfighting at the end of the day, don't they? And it maybe would not have happened as quickly, but you would have still had people coming together in that whole sort of blood sport type vibe where you're coming in for a kumite and you have a big meet and everybody's styles are pitted against everybody else's styles, and eventually people would have learned that, you know what, we actually do have to be well rounded. It's no good being a black belt in Taekwondo if you're coming up against Hoist Gracie or a really high level wrestler, because you're just going to get taken down and submitted basically. So you
100%.
They would have come to the conclusion that you have to be an all-encompassing fighter than just one rigid. There's still a couple out there. There's a couple in the UFC, like Damian Maia, who's just a jiu-jitsu guy, and there's a couple of just wrestlers like Ben Askren or whatever. But there's not that many. There's not that many anymore. Everybody's pretty well rounded.
But even them guys that are just that, I'm sure that they study other martial arts in the respect that they're going to have to be coming up against that, And what Bruce Lee has given us is this realization that, everything that is true to the human physique in terms of what you could do physically is important and needs to be understood. And that's what's amazing. That's what's fucking amazing, mate.
What would you say your martial art is, Hen? If you had to choose one, what's your fighting style, mate?
Well, I mean, I've studied in Taekwondo. I mean, not to a high standard, but
yeah, no, fair play to you, mate. Yeah.
What are you laughing? Why are you laughing, cunt?
No, fair enough, mate. What belt did you get?
Well, that doesn't need to be said, does it?
No, respect.
I don't need to give you belts,
no, just kidding around, mate. Fair
what
play.
What belt did Bruce Lee have, mate? Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter, mate.
Do you know what my martial art is? It's a Scottish martial art.
Sumo.
No, fuck you. It's a Scottish martial art. I'd probably be decent at that, though, to be fair. It's a Scottish martial art called fuck ye. Where we dish out the old Glasgow kisses. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Well, this is it. Right, I'll quickly, if we've got time, I've been dying to talk about this.
Sure.
It's transsexuals in sport. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a massive topic. I've never given two shits about people that are transsexual. Not in the respect that that I have any problem with someone that's transsexual, but I've never cared in the respect that I respect anybody that wants to do what they do. But this has come to the forefront of public interest. It is definitely a topic, and I think it's a topic that's only going to be spoken about more and more. The fact that you have people that have decided that they want to change their sex, fair enough to them, but then they want to pursue a career in sport, whether it be cycling, wrestling, UFC, whatever the fuck it is. It is an issue for a lot of people, and some of the legends of sport that everybody said, well, yeah, great sports person, have actually come out and condemned it or said anything bad about it. Do you know what? Media have jumped on it. People have said, no, fuck you, that's not okay. I can't even remember her name. Tennis player, Navratilova. You know who I'm talking about. What's her name?
Navratilova?
I think that's it.
She wasn't transgender.
She said she's not transgender. No. She is. Sorry,
I thought you were telling me something I didn't know that.
She's a tennis champion. I think she's won Wimbledon. I don't know.
Yes,
I like
mate.
tennis, but
I
don't know it in and out.
She was huge back in the day.
But she actually come out and said that she doesn't agree with what the movement of transgender people saying, okay, I'm a man, but actually now I'm a woman and I'm going to play in women's tennis or women's as a woman in whatever sport and profession I want to do. And it is a massive talking point. I'm not going to stand there and I'm not going to spout stuff and say, it's not okay, but it needs to be talked about.
Yes, mate. The fact is, if you, as much as I respect anybody's wish to do whatever they want with their body, and they should be able to compete for honours in sports, you almost have to sort of create a separate category, only because if you allow women who used to be men to compete with women, then they do have physical advantages, and eventually you're just going to get a sport dominated by transgender athletes, and that's going to be the end of women's athletics, women's sports. Because of course, men have physical advantages. We're taller, we're broader, we're stronger. So you're just going to get a domination from transgender athletes, which is why I almost think you need to create a separate category. There's nothing wrong with competing to find out who's the best in the world, but everybody has to have an even playing field. That's the whole point of competition in sport, in my opinion. So, we don't mean it. We're just talking about this. We don't mean anything to anybody who's watching who may be transgender. Fair play to you. Like I say, we don't have an issue with it, but when it comes to especially,
not at all, mate. That's the thing.
Especially certain sports.
It's only been brought to
archery. I don't really have a problem with it. This is where we have to draw the line. Archery, curling, whatever. You can be transgender. It doesn't really affect. But when it comes into a physical advantage, especially combat sports, like you were on about that Fallon Fox or whatever the other day. When it comes to combat sports, you're talking about a man or somebody that used to be a man fighting somebody who was born a woman. It doesn't sound fair to me. That's all I'm saying about it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, I've looked into this, like in terms of like actual, like Olympic bodies, governing bodies, the way that they assess this shit, it comes down to testosterone levels at the moment. They literally just set the bar at testosterone levels. So if you are a male transition into a female, or you're you know what I'm trying to say. It's almost difficult to talk about in general without someone saying, you're misgendering, or you don't know what you're talking about. I find it, because it's difficult to actually just talk about it, right? But what I'm saying is someone that is deemed themselves as a woman, but biologically they're a man from birth, and all they have to do is pass the testosterone test. It's like, I'd like someone to fucking test me for my testosterone. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably lacking, mate. I drink too many beers, mate.
There ain't no probably about it, mate. Let's be honest now. You're not the most masculine of fellows.
All right, fuck off, mate.
In fact,
but I mean, but it literally, the way that they judge it is on that testosterone levels. That is it. It doesn't matter whether you've had your cock and balls fucking chopped off. That doesn't matter. It comes down to the fact that your testosterone levels are low enough, even though those actual levels, as far as I know, please correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that knows the ins and outs of this subject, as far as I know, the requirements for a transgender male to female competitor in sports, in the Olympics or in general, the testosterone levels that are required, it still means that you can still have a higher testosterone level than a woman that is a woman from birth has. And for me, that just makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all.
Well, I think we're both in agreement on the topic. I think most people in the comment section are in agreement as well. I mean, it's a tough one. Things are going to have to change. We're all going to have to adapt as human beings as this becomes a more and more prominent issue. But the fact is, it should be fair, is all I'm saying. I think we should leave that topic there though, mate, because we're coming up to 90 minutes on the show, and we do want to get through a bunch of comments to all the legends.
I just quickly wanted to say, if there's any transgender person out there that listens to Pig in the Hen Show, if you're a fan, love you, and please inform us and talk to us about this stuff. I'm all for that. I'm all for just people talking. We, as a community, as people, we just need to talk about this stuff,
Amen to that, Henry. Amen to that. Right, let's get into the comments, guys. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in and commented, watching along with the live stream today. You're a bunch of legends. So I'm going to go back to the top here, and I'm just going to pick out a bunch. If I do miss yours, I apologise. There's been quite a lot tonight, so thank you to everybody who's got involved. But come back after this video has been published if I don't read out your comment, and comment in the not live comments, and I will get back to them as soon as I can. Right, here we go. So to start with, we have a comment here from hang on a second. So from OTB comments, Henry Big Bollocks today, bless him. Definitely feels like you were giving it the big and earlier on about Spurs. Do you know what? We've barely talked about the transfers.
That comes down to that. That comes down to that person's insecurity about Manchester United. You know, and I think we've covered that well.
Yeah, Dale Cooper comments and says, I'm Italian, I follow all the Juventus matches. Dybala is the most overrated player in football history, believe me. I don't believe you, Dale Cooper. That sounds like an Italian name to me, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Maybe if your name was like Delineo Cooperani. But no, it's not. It's Dale Cooper, mate. Don't lie to me, buddy. Dale Cooper. Anyway, fair play. You don't rate.
You said it. I don't need to add to that.
But Dale, fair play. Thank you for your comment there, Dale. I much appreciate you getting involved, and I hope you're telling the truth. I really do.
The reason I'm not getting overexcited about Dybala right now is because it's not confirmed, mate. You know, it's like you could have the best news ever, but you can't get excited about it until you see it. You got to see it happening. So, yeah, I'm excited, but excited only to the extent where I need to see it happen.
Fair play, man, yeah.
Dybala to Spurs, and then, the next Pig of the Hen show, hopefully next Wednesday, I'm going to be fucking literally cock in hand, spurting all over the fucking screen of my iPhone. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully.
Giving yourself the old Spider-Man on the face like you were talking about earlier, mate. You're obsessed.
Exactly that, yeah.
We've got a comment here from 7 Pikachu. Says, please like the video and keep sharing. Thanks, lad. He says, this channel beats Mark Goldbridge any day. Oh, thank you very much, 7 Pikachu, for your input there, mate. Obviously, everybody's got their own opinions. I've had plenty of comments from people in the past who say, oh, you're a shithouse compared to Goldbridge and things like that. But I'm glad that you don't feel that way. So thank you very much for getting in there. Bunch of super chats coming in here as well that I want to just shout out. Obviously, we've got one from Nick Brown. Thank you very much. Comments like the new setup. Thank you so much for getting involved here with the super chat and supporting the channel there, Nick. Yeah, we're just trying to. This is actually a really last minute, late rushed thing. Like, I wasn't even able to make any graphics. I just stuck a picture of Dybala and a couple other people there. It was very last minute. So next week it's going to be better. Next week there's going to be theme music. There's going to be graphics. It's going to be much better, and we're also going to have like browser sources. Like so for instance, earlier when I was talking about, Sonny Liston and Muhammad Ali, I'd just be able to pop onto YouTube, pull the window up, show you the little 10-second clip that me and Henry are talking about. So the production quality of the podcast is hopefully going to get a lot better. But thank you very much for your comment there, mate. Much appreciated.
See, you guys know this before I do. Do you know what I mean? That's new to me. Pig, you are on this shit, mate.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing, pal. Andy Manchester comments, Spurs, like Liverpool, will never win the league. Chelsea, Spurs and Liverpool will fall this season. I love it, Andy, I do. Anything to say to that? Do you think you ever win the league, Hen?
I mean, that's just opinionated bullshit, though. We're all entitled to an opinion, but fucking, come up with some solid, concrete evidence of why you just said that.
So I'm going to back Andy up here. I'm going to say there's pretty solid, concrete evidence, which is since the inception of the Premier League 30 or 27 years ago, Spurs have not won it. So that's a pretty good thing to base it on, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, Leicester never won it until they won it. Do you know what I mean? So that's bullshit, mate. Anyone could fucking win it.
Oh, dear. Right, let's get on to another comment here. So it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to read some of these comments back as we go along, because obviously I'm going back through the comments, reading comments that have been posted like an hour ago, and some of them are pretty funny. So, but anyway, they're not really relevant anymore. But go back and watch these live comments, Henry, because they're funny as.
Okay, well, the thing is, Pig, you're only going to read the comments that are like anti-Henry Hotspur.
No, that's not true.
Do you know what I mean? Please please just come out with, if someone said, "Pig, you're a fucking cunt," read it.
Mate, I would read that. Trust me, I read stuff like that all the time. It's banter, isn't it? It's funny. Plus, it's usually a dirty Leeds fan or something, and then I can just, put the boot in about how shit they are as a club as well.
On United Standard, do they say cunt on United Standard?
I wouldn't have thought so, mate. They just look like one.
Do we need to stop saying that word? I mean, I don't. This is the thing. I mean, I just talk how I talk. But do you think, is there a reason to not say words? Should we just not say that word? Would that put people off?
Let's face it, if you're a kid and you're watching the show and your dad walks in and you've got you going, fucking can't, mate. Of course he's going to go, mate, unsubscribe to that shite. It's a bit freaking much. Unsubscribe. That's definitely going to happen. But what I would say is, Henry, people swear, we're just mates recording a conversation at the end of the day. Let's keep it real. If people don't like swear words, then don't watch the fucking channel. That's what I'd say. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. I don't want to attract children, mate. You know what I mean? This is an adult show.
Anyway, let's get on to
more comments.
So I have
comments.
to read out all these super chats, of course, because these guys have taken the time to super chat in. So it'd be rude for me not to respond to them. Alex Rudd.
And all this money goes straight to the pig. Straight to the pig.
I said you're going to get your share, Henry Hotspur. We're improving the production values of the channel at the moment. And just so you know, he's just libelled me there. Just so you know, I gave him his share before he fucked off to China.
It's because I lost a bet. Let's tell everybody this.
That's right.
We had a bet, and you won the bet, and then it turned into all the super chats. We'll just cover.
Okay, so what would you rather have done? What would you rather have done? Giving you the money? Giving you the money so you could just give it me back. A bet's a bet, my friend. What are you trying to do, Welch? Do you know what I mean?
I wish you still had Mourinho so that United still finished above Spurs. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, Alex Rudd has a comment for you, Henry. He says, Hotspur is a bird, as seen in your logo. Okay. That is apparently what a Hotspur is. Did you know that? I didn't actually know that. I thought it was a cockerel. Or is that what a Hotspur is?
So sorry, this is a question for me.
A statement, like really. Alex Rudd, when we were talking about earlier on what is a Hotspur, Alex Rudd said a Hotspur is a bird as seen in your logo. Let me just Google this to make sure he's not winding you up.
But what type of bird is a Hotspur? I mean, he might be right. Mate. This is embarrassing if I get this wrong. I mean, I know that a spur is certainly the back of a cowboy boot. The starry metallic kind of spinny thing that you see. Obviously, the cockerel is our mascot, is our emblem.
I've got to read something out here, mate. This is awesome. This is so
Please
awesome.
Do.
Check this out. The cockerel is synonymous with Hotspur part of Tottenham, with the Hotspur part of Tottenham, right? Harry Hotspur was a character in Shakespeare's Henry IV.
I know this shit.
Based on Sir Henry Percy, who was part of the Northumberland family. Sir Henry was killed in Henry Hotspur. Sir Henry was killed in the 15th century, but his descendants owned land in the Tottenham area some 400 years later. Sir Henry, or Harry, acquired the Hotspur nickname because of the way he used his spurs while riding. So you're absolutely right, Henry. It comes from the spurs on the back of the club.
I am right. Of course I'm right.
The club adopted a ball and a cockerel crest because fighting cocks, participants in a popular sport in Sir Harry's era, used to be fitted with small, sharp spurs. Crikey! Jesus!
Yeah, so I'm right. I didn't adopt the name of Henry Hotspur lightly. I knew there was history behind that. I mean, I probably don't even deserve that name at all. But I thought, well, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? That is. At least it shows that I'm passionate about the club, that I am adopting that sort of name. Simple as that, mate. Henry Hotspur. Sir Henry Hotspur.
Fair play. So there you go. There we go. That's the origin of Henry Hotspur's name. Gungshi with a super chat. Gungshi, thank you so much, mate. He says, Pig and the Hen, I hope this gets through. Unlike the super chat I apparently just mistakenly sent to the earlier version of this show. Shit! Do you know what I mean? You've had a mare there, Gungshi, haven't you? So we don't know what you said there. But thank you very much for showing your support.
I think it's Gunshi's in Taiwan, is he not? I mean, he's not far from me. Gunshi is probably I mean, please let me know if you're closer to me than Gunshi is as a listener of the show. But as far as I know, Gunshi is a fellow avid football fan that lives in a similar part of the world that I do. So fair play to Gunshi. We should hook up, mate.
Well, he did ask
we'll
you
get
in the
a room,
last
mate.
video if he could come down and stay with you, mate. No, he didn't say that, but you guys should hang out, mate. I think you could start some sort of a bromance.
Yeah, well, it's not working
Oi,
with you, is
get
it?
on Twitter, lad. Inbox, slide into Henry Hotspur's DMs. Gungshi also comments with another super chat saying, great show tonight. Thank you so much, Gungshi. And thank you to everybody who comments throughout this live stream with words of encouragement. Like, you know, that is really nice of you guys just to send shite like that in. So thank you very much for getting involved with the live stream.
Well, this is it. We've gone from Google Hangouts to Skype. Let us know if the actual show is coming through clearer and better than it was before. Because if that's the case, brilliant. We should have been on the Skype before as our go-to utility.
Absolutely, we should have been. So I think we're going to wrap up this live stream now, Henry. But I've had a really fun time, Henry, talking about all the COD that we have. We didn't actually talk too much in the end about the transfers, the transfer market. But what I would like to do is maybe jump on here once the window slams shut and just run some things down. One thing I did want to talk about is Alex Rincon, who I haven't seen him in the chat tonight, but shout out to you, Rincon. Is he messaged me, and I think what we should try and do is, we've got these usual legends of the channel basically who are always here, who are always committed. And a couple of them would like to get on and have a chat with us one day. So one day, one Pig in the Hen show, I think, to begin with, obviously if Gungshi wants to get on there, he's a big supporter of the channel. Alex Rudd, Rincon, if you guys want to get in here, you see these two quadrants that are filled with footballers at the moment that are not me and Hen. Maybe that could be you guys, just for one show, just, bit of banter, do you know what I mean? What do you think about that one, Hen?
I mean, I think to begin with, 100%, we need to have more involvement for more people because this is almost been the theme of the Pig and the Hen show this evening is the fact that we're not professionals, we're not ex-footballers. Who are we? We're just people that love football and like to talk about it, and we want to get involved with the community. So it comes down to the fact that we need more involvement. Anybody that loves us, please get in touch. I mean, I'd open it up to anyone, mate. Open it up to anyone. I'd actually like to speak to someone that doesn't like the Pig and the Hen show. That's actually going to contradict what we're saying, or actually come in some respect. And I think that would be brilliant. That's what life's about.
The only problem with having
you need
random
disagreement.
people
You need someone.
Yeah. The only problem with having random
as
people,
long as they're not committed hate crimes.
No, you're going to get a jacker offer, mate, if you just allow random video people to pop up. Somebody's going to jack off. That's what I'm saying.
Subscribers only.
That doesn't stop them from being jackers, mate. Do you know what I mean?
but you know what? You have to.
We have to know them a little bit, yeah.
I will not deplatform anyone. Even if you get some fucking jacker, everybody will listen to the show and think, what a fucking prick that person was. But everybody would be, as a community, everyone's saying,
but it also might get us taken off of YouTube.
And then you move on to the next person.
You're not allowed jackers on YouTube, mate. So our video would get removed. Do you know what I mean? Probably.
Oh, so what you're saying is if someone comes onto the show and they say some fucking silly shit, then that could be the end of the Pig and the Hen show. Is that what you're trying to say?
They get their penis out and they start stroking it, then that would be the end. That could be the end of the show.
No, but we're not having video, mate. It's just going to be fucking call-ins, isn't it?
That's what I was saying. Why can't we have like Rudd and Rincon and Gungshi pop on for one? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but videotape. No, but you need to be one of the people that's a trustworthy person to have a video call. But in terms of just a regular voice call, I think feel free. We can see if someone says some dickhead shit, you just cut them off.
Yeah, it's very
simple as that.
We will not tolerate any racism, homophobia, things like that. So you'll just get sacked off. But yes, we will try and do that soon.
Exactly that, and that's exactly the same as any radio station, already channel. It's like you have phone-ins. You don't know who's going to phone in, but that's the excitement of it. That's what makes it interesting. You don't know who's going to call in. It's almost better if some dickhead phones in, and they make themselves out like a dickhead, and it's brilliant.
Very true, mate. And now we set up this whole Skype setup, then that will be easy to do. People will just be able to Skype in and get right on there with us. So that is pretty cool. I'm going to bring an end to proceedings now, but thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in. Make sure you do smash a like on this YouTube video before you go. And if I've not read out your comments, get your thoughts and opinions in after this video has been published. Also, go over to iTunes, search for the Pig and the Hen Show podcast, search for it on Podcast Addict or whatever podcast app you use to listen to podcasts, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating on there. It'd be much appreciated. And you can follow Henry on Twitter at Henry_Hotspur. If you're not doing that, go over and do that immediately. Also follow me on Twitter at Mr. Flying Pig HD. Also on Facebook and Instagram too. So please go ahead and do that. Anything we talked about in this video, get your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. We've got a late super chat from Alex Rudd. Be rude not to read it. It says, do a season preview show. Up for that, Hen? Nice.
Yeah, of course I am. Of course I am.
We'll sort
all
that
day
out.
long.
We'll sort that out.
I just wanted to say thank you to what's his name?
Griffo
Griffin
Chaz,
Chaz Griffo.
He's from Upton,
Griffo
mate.
Chaz
You know
for the comment. What?
Yes,
just down the
mate.
road from where you are.
So. Griffo Chaz.
Wow.
I'm surprised he's not
Amazing.
seen me around.
Leave the country, mate, like I did. That's
Hey, mate,
what
did
I'd
I tell
say.
you? Did I tell you
Don't
that?
be a pig. Pig's going down with the ship. Pig is the captain of the Titanic right now. You know what I mean?
Should we
That is
just-
literally how it is. You're
Should we
better
just
off.
tell our stories, mate? Should we
leave
just tell
the
our stories
country.
of being recognised? Because you got recognised by somebody in Tesco's before you left to China once, didn't you?
That was crazy. That
Yeah.
was crazy. Yeah. Didn't
No,
even mention
just came
you.
up massaging the hen.
Literally just said, "I'm sorry, but are you Henry Hotspur?" I said. At first, I said, "Sorry, what did you say, mate?" Because I just wasn't ready for it at all. He said, "Are you Henry Hotspur?" And I said, "Oh, you mean because I do a YouTube channel with my mate?" Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, I really respect you, mate. I like you a lot." Just held out a hand, shook his hand. No, that was kind of it. Like, he didn't really want to say much more than that. He was kind of one of these guys that is just maybe he's not. Maybe he didn't want to talk too much, but he obviously felt the need to fucking shake my hand, which was mad, mate.
I've had the similar situation, mate. With
I really like what you're doing.
I was delivering to a few times as part of my work. So I knock on the door, and he's like, "We'll do the transaction." He's like, "Do I know you, mate?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so, mate." And he's like, "From the Flying Pig." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh shit! Yeah, you do know me then, mate." And then but he was an absolute legend. He was a big Irish Man United fan. And he just he filled me with so much hope and confidence, mate, because he was like, I always thought if people saw me out and about, there's a 50% chance somebody might think I'm a complete tit and want to come and give me a slap or whatever. But he didn't. He loved the fact that I freaking was right there in front of him, shook his hand.
Thing is, most people that know who you are because of the Flying Pig United channel, will love you. Who's out there watching your shit thinking, I really don't like this guy.
There's always a few dislikers on the video,
like anybody that knows you, yeah, you get dislikers. But anybody that kind of knows you is obviously likes you. Otherwise, you just wouldn't listen to you. Isn't it?
Very
Simple
true,
as
mate,
that.
very true. Any words of wisdom to leave us on then, Hen?
Well, I just wanted to apologise that the last Pick of the Head show, we said that we were going to cover Brexit, which is obviously the situation of the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. It's all kind of right now. The actual government is on holiday. Parliament's on holiday at the moment. As far as I know, the EU will not budge on what they want. And we're kind of headed to a no-deal Brexit. And all I'm saying right now is, this might. We've been hearing this for fucking 3 years of what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. All I'm saying is, it's going to be an interesting few months, and the pig and the hen we're gonna be talking about this shit because it's our country and we're patriots, are we not?
Yes, I believe so, mate. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about this right now. Fact is, you've had a cigarette. I haven't had one for fucking 2 hours, mate. So let's just wrap this up.
Wow. I mean, you know,
and that is Brexit in a nutshell. That's the British public.
I mean, are you a patriot?
Yes, I would say that I am, mate. Yes, or a patriot, as us English people would call it. You absolute turncoat yank.
Sorry, a patriot. Well, sorry. Well, there we go, a patriot. But there should be no embarrassment. I'll fly the Union Jack. Yeah, I'll carry the Union Jack with me and be proud of that. And that's what worries me. What worries me is people these days are maybe not so proud of their country or their nation, and I think that's important. I just like to end on that. It is important to me.
Shout out to everyone who's watched this. Thanks so much for getting involved. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And just to let you know, this show airs every single Wednesday around about 3 p.m. Sorry, it's a little bit late today, but we did have some technical issues. Next week, the production's going to be up a step again. Hopefully, this was a better show with the, apart from the start where it echoed and everything. Hopefully, it came through loud and clear, and you got to see Henry's beautiful face a little bit more. Thanks so much for stopping by, Henry. We'll do this again next week, and actually we'll maybe have a chat about doing a Premier League preview or a rundown of the transfer market or something, just a short video at some point. But yeah, thanks so much to everybody who's tuned in. You're a bunch of legends. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us both on social media. Come back next Wednesday, 3 p.m. UK time for the Pig and the Hen Show live podcast. And make sure you go and listen to this podcast and subscribe over to the audio version on soundcloud.com/FlyingPigUnited. Anyway, this is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Have yourselves a good one. I've been the Pig. You always
sorry, mate.
miss your cue.
You
always miss your cue.
I've always got to say, yeah, but fuck the cue, mate. Fuck the cue. Like, we need to have bets on who's going to get rid of the top knot first. All right. if anybody's noticed, you might not have noticed in the dark, but me and the Pig are repping very similar hairstyles at the moment, and we need to have some kind of bet on who's going to lose it. Who's going to lose it first? The lot off. Exactly. I like it, mate.
A knot off. Knot off. Yeah.
Oh, a knot off.
A Molotov.
Okay, well that works.
That's basically what it is. Anyway, right.
That's it. Brilliant. Right. Well, I'm not losing mine, mate.
Mate, it's probably going to be me, mate. Have you seen, like, this? I definitely need to get it cut, mate. It looks a state. And, like, my hairline's starting to recede.
All you need to do is just get rid of the sides. Get rid of the sides, mate. Make them short as fuck. And then, it'll look good, mate.
Maybe I'll do that.
You need to grow the beard, mate. Grow the fucking facial hair as well, mate. It works, mate.
All right, then, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have yourselves a good one. I've been the Pig.
I've been the Hen.
And we'll see you next Wednesday at 3 p.m. UK time. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves a good one. And take it easy. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
I get the last word.
Correct.